Welcome back to the Clubhouse, talking all things golf. Marco's masterclass not too far away, and a very special chat you had earlier in the week, Marco, with Cole Swatton. Looking forward to that. But not often we get guests, and you know when we get guests into the Clubhouse studio that something big is happening. And well, we got one this morning, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, Matt Kaminsky, the Executive Director of the President's Cup, straight from the PGA Tour. Good to have you in, Matt. It's getting exciting now. We're not far away. November's around the corner. I had some people who have just recently played Royal Melbourne. They have said it is magnificent, and you know we're in June.
Yeah, no, it's we're 144 days away from the event, start of the week. So, yeah, the golf course is coming along tremendously well, and we've had a very mild winter so far. You know, knock on wood. Hopefully that stays. But it's been good for the golf course.
Now you've been down. You were sent down by the PGA Tour to oversee everything at the President's Cup in Royal Melbourne, make sure everything's correct. I mean, is everything done? I mean, are you just polishing the trophy now? What's your role?
Wish that was the case, but no, there's still a lot to be done. You know, I mean, it's. When you get down here that far in advance, you know, people just don't focus on things that quickly. So, I mean, as much as you want to have everything, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, you know, so far out, but you just can't. So there's still a lot of things to be done, but, you know, the planning's well underway, and we're very comfortable with where we are.
I think it's exciting for the Australian team now. Jason Day has come second in the last two majors. He actually played very well at the PGA Championship and finished 10th. Didn't do too well at the British Open, but he's number one on that list now. Yeah. The kids coming through, Ricky Fowler also coming down. I mean, for you, I know it's a long way, it's a forecast away. Yeah. What's the dream matchup on the Sunday in the singles? But I reckon if we could have Jason Day playing Ricky Fowler, coming down, 15, 16, all tied, and everything's tied, that to me would be the dream situation.
Wouldn't that be? I mean, I agree with you. That'd be fantastic if both those guys are on the team. Obviously, Jason's right up there. Ricky's fallen back a little bit, but hopefully he does make the team, and that'd be a great draw. But I mean, those two guys playing at the end would be phenomenal.
Just on that, Matt, do you allow yourself to sometimes, just before you're not off at night, just to dream about these matchups, or do you not get too far ahead of yourself?
I try not to get too far ahead of myself. So, I mean, I think any which way, whatever 12 players come from the international team and the 12 players on the United States team, we're going to have some great matchups because it is, 24 of the best players in the world.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's a very good point because it is the creme de la creme, and knowing that on the Sunday, regardless of who it is, it's going to be two players who are very highly ranked in the world of golf and are playing a great brand of golf over those 3 or 4 days.
And what's great about the way that the captains do their picks, they sit across the table from each other, and Freddie will say, "I'm taking this guy," and then Greg can say, "Well, I'm going to take this guy." So you can set up those matches, different than the Ryder Cup where they each put their lists in, and then all of a sudden they match up. Here it's you can set up those marquee matches, just like in 1998 when Tiger played Greg Norman.
Yeah.
Those types of things.
And also, when I went to South Africa, I've forgotten which year it was. South Africa, they had Tiger Woods taking on Ernie Els in South Africa, and that was the famous tide. Both captains, Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus, came when it was pitch black dark, basically. You couldn't tell with the cameras, they're so good these days, but it was pitch black dark, and they just shook hands. It's one of the great moments. Now, the President's Cup has been dominated. We've only had one win. This is the international team when I say we. One win, one halve. Yep. How important? Is it important for moving forward that we have another win down here? Not so much for the credibility, but for the rivalry, because we know it's a big event.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you never want one team to dominate. It's just you want to, when you look at the Ryder Cup, people really didn't start taking a huge amount of interest until the Europeans, all the Europeans started to play, and the Europeans started to win. Then the whole world started to take interest. So,
that's true.
Hopefully, it's a great competition, and every year's been a lot closer than what maybe the points show. I mean, you look at what we did in 2005 after the tie. Chris DeMarco won it with a putt on his final hole on the 18th hole. So they've been very close. It's just they've gone the United States way.
And the two captains, iconic. Not only Greg Norman. I mean, obviously Greg Norman in Australia. He's one of the superheroes of Australian sport, let alone golf.
Yep.
But Fred Couples, I tell you what, universally loved. And he's just said recently that if he's playing in the Australian Open, which happens before the President's Cup, then the two picks that he picks will be playing there as well. I reckon he's the only bloke who could get away with saying something like that.
He might be, and I think he. I think more so than anything, he wants those guys to be playing the week before, wherever that is. And, if he wants them to play in the Australian Open, I think he'll push for it. But, he definitely wants these guys ready and raring to go and acclimated to the time zones here, and ready to play.
As we get closer and you have a bit of an idea about who's playing well in the world of golf and who's where on the rankings, it makes it easier, I guess, to advertise what players you think will be here come late November?
Yeah, we have that opportunity to start promoting those guys a little bit. For so long, we just don't know what our team's going to be. And, hopefully as we get through the summer, we're going to be able to put out a little bit more releases and say, hey, these guys are locks to be on the team and in the top 10 when those teams are announced on September 18th.
Americans famously don't like to travel, and that's true, unfortunately. And we understand why. We understand.
So easy. It's everything.
It is easy over there, and why would you, to some respects? I mean,
absolutely. You
travel all year. You finally get some time off. It would be nice to spend it with the kids, and I'm actually half understand why the Americans don't do it. The pull of Royal Melbourne, I reckon a lot more players this year. I mean, and for a lot of Americans, they've only heard the stories about Royal Melbourne. Sometimes they get here and they see it when it's not in tournament condition. They go, But, I promise these American players when they get down here and the course is looking $1 million, the crowds are out, they'll be glad they come. What have you heard? I mean, is it one of those situations where this year coming to Royal Melbourne is fractionally different from others?
It might be. I mean, it's the event too. I mean, the guys want to play in this event, but I think the notion of U.S. players, you say it's right. I mean, it is easy over there. It's easy to and the season's so long, and they travel all over the United States. But I think you're going to see a lot more guys starting to. I think I read today that Dustin Johnson is looking at possibly playing more in Europe, and you're going to see a lot of these younger guys looking to play overseas more so often. And Ricky Fowler started to travel quite a bit. He played in the CIMB
Fantastic
Asia Pacific Classic in Malaysia last year. So these guys are going to start to try to travel more and play more overseas.
Heard in the last couple of weeks that Michael Jordan's going to be here with the team USA, and
the Michael Jordan.
Yeah, the Michael Jordan. not
Jordan.
A fake one I've just picked up from Ringwood.
Right,
the Michael Jordan. Marco and I would like to see maybe Shane Warne aligned to the international team. How would you go about maybe promoting something like that if Warne was to jump on a Warne, the number 23s of their respective sports?
No, it'd be great. I mean, we'll see what Greg ends up doing. I think he's thinking long and hard about what he wants to do there, and he's got a great captain's assistant in Frank Nobilo right now. We'll see.
What's he going to do, Michael Jordan? Tell us. I mean, there'll be people driving along who maybe aren't into golf, and just the name Michael Jordan sparks their interest. What sort of a role is he going to have for the American team?
Well, first off, him and Fred are fantastic mates. I mean, they've been great friends for a long time. And in 2009, Fred asked him to be a part of it, and he was kind of an unofficial official captain's assistant. And really, what he brings more so than anything, think about golf. It's inherently a individual sport. I mean, you've played it, Mark. You're a professional golfer. I mean, it's you against the golf course, you against the other guys. And Michael Jordan, a 6-time NBA champion, how many MVPs he's won. He's going to be able to bring that leadership from a team aspect. A lot of these guys haven't played in team sports. I mean, some of them played in college, but some of them didn't. And, I think it's more so than anything, he's going to be able to bring that to this event.
I assume, Matt, now that we're hoping to get you in the clubhouse a little bit as we count down to the President's Cup, just maybe a Fred Couples, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan interview just in the clubhouse studios just
wouldn't that
a week
be
or two before the President's Cup tees off?
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Hey, there's a great, in Melbourne, there's a great golf culture, an incredible golf culture with the Sandbelt golf courses and its history, the pennant, the players that have come. We see when the big names get down to Melbourne at the Masters, crowds, they flock to the golf when there's something to see. Clearly, this is going to be something to see. As far as the grandstands and letting people in, have you cut down the numbers? Because I reckon if you started selling tickets and there was no limit, who knows, you might get 50 or 60,000 people through the gates every day.
Yeah, we've capped it. We've capped the numbers at from general public and hospitality sales about 27,500.
Fantastic.
And that's the number that we want to sit with.
So it was about 25 at the Masters. Just so people listening, at the Masters, I think they were letting through just under 25,000 people a day, and they were there to see one or two groups. It was pretty good viewing, you could still see. Yeah. So when you've got as many players that would be playing every day in the President's Cup, it'll be the greatest viewing as golf of the best names in the game you could imagine. So that's I mean, it's almost going to seem thin
Now, I don't know if it'll seem thin, but I mean, you put that many people around, 6 groups that are out there on the first 2 days, and 5 and 5, and then 12 on Sunday. But, one thing that we've also done is we're going to have about 10,000 grandstand seats on the property to help with
10,000?
that. Yeah, 10,000.
How many grandstand seats did they have at Kingston Heath last year? You were there.
Just under 5,000, I think, probably 4,500 or something like that.
Oh, so it's enormous.
Yeah, so there's quite a few that we'll have out there.
When capping the crowds, did you have to be mindful of the fact there's not as many players, and obviously more people are going to be crowded around less golfers?
Absolutely. I mean, we've learned that over time with the President's Cup, and I think probably the biggest attended one that we had was in Montreal, and we had upwards of 33 to 34,000 people out there on every given day. And it's a little bit bigger golf course, had a little bit more room to move around. I mean, Royal Melbourne is great because it's they've got 36 holes, and they have the area across the street for parking and things, and I mean from a logistics standpoint it's fantastic, but that tea tree does creep in on the fairway. We're going to do some trimming back of that to make it work for people just like they did at Kingston Heath with the Masters in 2009 and Victoria as well. So
I was just going to say, you've been here for the last couple of years preparing for the big event. Just run us through the differences you see between golf in the US and the golf here in Australia.
I mean, first thing I realized, is just play a lot of Stableford. The way people play out there, it's
different.
It's different. I mean, every time I played in the state, you played your own ball and you're just playing stroke, and that's what you're doing. And I got getting used to that, but I enjoy that. It's fun. I mean, not that I play all that often, but
it keeps the fields moving.
Yeah,
here,
it does.
man.
It keeps it going, and a lot of competition golf compared to what you see in the United States from a club standpoint. It's competitions every weekend, every day, and everybody's participating, which is great.
We talked about a dream pair up or a match up at the President's Cup, but there's one bloke we would love to see down here for the 3rd year in a row, Tiger Woods. Now we know he's having his troubles with the Achilles and the knee. Fred Couples, has he got enough pull there to actually suggest, Tiger, I want you down here no matter what? Well, maybe not no matter what, but I want you to come down and play in the Australian Open as well, because that I reckon that caught a lot of people off guard in the media when Fred Couples said, "Look, whoever I pick," and he's going to have to be one of the picks. Whoever I pick's got to play at the Australian Open.
And I think he said that. He said that, but he kind of later in his interview he did say, anything I want them to play the week before. So it was, he kind of backed off a little bit on that first statement. But I mean, there's no doubt that Fred feels that Tiger's still the leader of the United States team. I mean, Tiger is, no doubt. I don't think anybody would not choose him if he was healthy and ready and go. And what Fred said in his interview there at the Memorial, he said that, hey, Tiger's going to be the best judge, and if he's healthy and he's ready to go, he's going to tell me, and I'll listen to him. So.
Do you watch the injury updates that Tiger keeps giving every now and then on Twitter with a great deal of interest?
I do. So hopefully he's going to be able to announce that he's going to be playing next week in his own event there in Philly, but I haven't heard anything. He hasn't said anything different.
I don't think he's going to play. I seen him tweet during the week that I don't think he's going to be there, but I don't think he's going to play.
So, the AT&T?
Yeah, the AT&T.
Not playing the AT&T.
Okay.
No, definitely.
He said he's close, but not 100%.
Today.
Okay.
Yep, so he won't be playing there. Wouldn't think he'd be playing in the Open Championship, but I like that because that's more of a chance for him to get better, get right to go, and come back next year. And he needs a few warm-up events for next year. If he really wants to chase down Jack Nicklaus and win those majors, having a long time off, it's a great chance to come down. And match play golf, it's not always about the long 72-hole haul. I mean, you can finish early. You can finish early. You don't have to, with the foursomes, you don't have to hit as many shots. It might be a great vehicle for him to come down. I just want to say, I'm not sure how much time we got, but I commend you when you say mate. You're one of the Americans that normally they come down here and the mate's just lost on them, but you're doing a great job. The other question I've got for you, who are you supporting? It's a big AFL town here in Melbourne. Have they got you across the line?
Yeah, I came across right when I got down here. I'm supporting St Kilda.
The Saints.
The Saints,
oh, no.
Yeah. And everybody keeps asking me, have you jumped ship yet? What are you doing?
You can't jump ship.
No, I can't jump ship. That's not going to happen. That was the first thing I learned when I got down here. I mean, if you don't pick an AFL team, nobody's going to want to talk to you.
That is true.
That's the first thing I need to do.
You don't brag for the Cubs back home in the baseball, do you? Right? Because it's a similar situation. They've had similar droughts.
Not the Cubs, but the Cleveland Browns Cleveland Indians. So I've got the same. It's misery loves company.
And we better not talk about LeBron James then if that part of the world.
Cavs. So the Cleveland. that's my team. So.
144 days to go.
Yes, sir.
What needs to happen? What's the number one thing for you to get done before day one, Thursday?
We need to sell the thing out.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing. And tickets are still available. But if you go to presidentscup.com and A lot of people keep asking, are they still there? But everybody I talk to, everybody says they're going to go, and they're excited about it. But I haven't bought my tickets yet. But get out there and do it early because you don't want to miss this. It's going to be the biggest golf tournament to ever hit Australia since 1998.
No doubt about it. We are excited. We appreciate you coming in, Matt. We look forward to you and Fred and Tiger and Michael just coming in for a chat to the Clubhouse as the President's Cup does loom. 144 days to go. Grab your tickets. It's going to be massive, not just in the world of sport, in the world of golf, but in the world of sport because it is a huge tournament. Appreciate your time. Look forward to catching up with you again sometime soon.
Thanks, Cam.